Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, witnesses were cross-examined in the second day of the murder trial of Jessica Williams, a mother who's accused of killing her 3-year-old son, Maddox. Maine State Police Lieutenant Colonel Brian Scott, Detective Jason Fowler, Major Crimes Unit Detective Nicholas Gleason, and Snowman's grocery owner Lisa Raymond took the stand this morning where they were questioned about the incident and what they remembered. Scott says upon investigating the home, his team found blood in various areas of the house, including the chairs, a dried washcloth in the living room, the master bedroom, and 2 towels in front of the washer. Detective Fowler went into greater detail about which direction the blood likely traveled. Detective Gleason said Jessica Williams fled the emergency room shortly after Maddox was pronounced dead. He says they searched throughout the Stockton Springs area and were unable to find her. He also read aloud text messages to the jury from Williams to various people involved in the incident. Witness questioning will continue throughout the week. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit and evidence team continues to investigate the deaths of an elderly couple in Orrington. State police personnel remained on the premise throughout the day. Friends and neighbors of the family came by to show their support, leaving flowers and visiting the house. Russell and Lewis Swanson, both 89, were found deceased by a family member on Wednesday morning after residents believe they heard gunshots coming from the area. However, Maine State Police have not confirmed these details yet and will continue to investigate. Augusta police, meanwhile, have arrested a juvenile suspect in connection with a local robbery at a local convenience store. Police say on September 27th, just after 10 p.m., they responded to a robbery at the Big Apple store on Stone Street. The alleged suspect had already fled when they arrived. Police say they apprehended a juvenile suspect during a vehicle stop. The robbery remains under investigation. The founder of a company that wants to build a salmon farm off Bar Harbor is back in hot water. A Norwegian court has ordered the seizure of assets belonging to Mikkel Rohns. He's the founder and financial partner of American Aqua Farms, which wants to build a controversial salmon farm in Frenchman Bay. According to the group Frenchman Bay United, Rohns is facing charges accusing him of mishandling funds from wealthy Norwegian investors. He now faces a lawsuit, and a judge ordered him to surrender close to $2 million in property to help those investors recover their money. The proposed salmon farm has been met with widespread opposition from those who fear what it could do to the local environment. A Millinocket man faces charges after police say he dropped illegal drugs in a local store. The East Millinocket Police Department says it received a call Tuesday from a store employee who reported finding a bag of white powder. Police checked the store's security footage and say they watched as 40-year-old Ryan Boyington dropped the bag. They say it also recorded him returning to the store to search for it. Boyington was questioned and later arrested for unlawful trafficking in scheduled drugs. They say a search of Boyington at the police station also turned up what's believed to be more suspected heroin or fentanyl. A juvenile suspect has been charged after Brewer High School had 2 separate school threats reported yesterday. The first threat made shortly after students were let out of school on Wednesday. An investigation from Brewer High School and Brewer Police Department found the threat to be a hoax. Shortly after, a separate threat was made against Brewer Community School, which was also found to be fake. At least one of the threats suggested a school shooting would occur. A school resource officer and Brewer Police Department were on duty throughout the day and will continue to monitor the situation. A Brewer student has been charged after the investigation identified the student responsible. That student was charged with terrorizing. It's been over a week since a woman was found dead inside a Sanford motel. Since then, the case has gained a lot of attention online. One Facebook group has 1,600 members and counting. Mal Meyer spoke with the woman's family as they search for answers.
She was funny. She liked to play jokes on people. She was beautiful.
Michelle Medeville says her sister, 35-year-old Elizabeth LaFortune, who went by Liz, had been staying at a motel for weeks with her fiancé. She claims it wasn't working out.
She was trying to get out. She was done.
Medeville says she grew worried after seeing someone was looking for her sister. She says she went to the motel last week as EMS was arriving to the scene.
And I was like, she's dead, isn't she? And he shook his head yes.
An official cause of death hasn't been determined yet. But shortly after her death, police told us they believe this was drug-related. The family believes it was something criminal.
She's never been a drug addict, ever.
Because of all the social media attention, the Sanford Police Department is declining to do an on-camera interview. However, a spokesperson tells me that this is still an active case. Authorities are looking to interview anyone with information about LaFortune's death. Meanwhile, the medical examiner's office determined a forensic autopsy was not needed, which the ME is allowed to do. The family says they had to get a private one on their own.
And there's got to be something somewhere. I don't want her files get shuffled to the side.
We're not going to allow that, and we're going to make sure it doesn't happen.
The family is planning on attending a rally near the police station on Friday night at 5 o'clock. They're hoping it brings more attention to the case.
That was Mal Meyer reporting. Meanwhile, the NTSB speaking tonight about a plane crash that killed 2 Maine men in Arundel. It happened yesterday afternoon in a heavily wooded area just south of the airport in Biddeford, where the FAA says the plane was trying to land. 2 well-known businessmen died from Freeport died. Brad Rogers tells us that investigators are now combing the crash site.
Ken Medore from nearby Weir's Motors says he was the second person to reach the plane in these thick woods, along with 2 firefighters.
On the ground, nose first.
Medore was outside the dealership. He says 30 seconds before the crash, he heard a plane sputtering.
Just heard an airplane sputtering. Could tell it was an airplane. It would rev back to life, then sputter. And it was probably lasted 30 seconds, and then it just was a thump. And it shook the ground like it's probably a half mile from where it crashed.
The sheriff's office says the pilot, 81-year-old Eldon Morrison from Cousins Island, pictured here, and his passenger, 55-year-old Paul Kozel of Scarborough, were killed on impact. Morrison was the founder and CEO of CPM Constructors in Freeport. Kozel was the president of the company and his son-in-law. Pilots at the Biddeford airport who heard Eldon Morrison's radio transmissions to the jetport said everything seemed fine as they passed Portland.
Eldon was based here and he was trying to get home. The weather yesterday was really bad. It was not flying weather.
Investigators have not said if the weather had anything to do with the crash. In fact, we likely won't know the cause for some time now. But local pilot Jack Savage told us in conditions like yesterday, you would want to maintain visibility with the ground through the approach.
If you lose contact with the ground, you don't know which way is up. And if you got slow enough, the airplane might stall, that is, it quits flying. And to regain flight from a stall, you have to put the nose down and get some airspeed up, but if you're too low to do that, you're going to crash.
In a statement, CPM Constructors says they've suffered a tragic loss. CFO Tim Ouellette says CPM is focused on the grieving process. We will be forever grateful for their leadership that built the foundation for CPM Constructors. And Vice President Andrew Kittredge says our team recognizes this is a challenging time, but we know Eldon and Paul believed in our crew, and we will continue to meet their expectations. Maine DOT says their company helped build numerous roads and bridges in Maine. In fact, the commissioner says they also helped reconstruct the new Exit 45 interchange on the Turnpike, something these men were very proud of.
That was Brad Rogers reporting. Meanwhile, a Stonington lobsterwoman is speaking out following NOAA's public hearing last night. Julie Eaton said the fishermen filled the parking garage near the venue where the hearing was held, and they came from every zone as a show of strength.
We were all just Maine fishermen coming together to fight for our industry, to fight for our coastal communities, and the power in that movement, in that moment, was just outstanding.
Eaton says the common thread she heard was a combination of anger, frustration, and fear coming from her fellow lobstermen and women as they spoke out and shared their views on NOAA's push for additional measures to protect endangered North Atlantic right whales. The push comes despite data that shows Maine gear has never been blamed for a right whale death. Highly visible Maine politicians spoke out as well, but she wonders if NOAA truly heard them. She said she believes the matter will end up with the Supreme Court.
We are a fishing community. Everything revolves around the fishery. And if you take away our fishery, then you take away not only our heritage and our way of life, but you kill our island.
Certainly a very contentious issue. We will keep you updated on that as it rolls out. Meanwhile, looking outdoors, a very nice day today. Cooling off out there now. What's to come ahead? We'll take a look at our first forecast.
All right, Peter, thank you. Happy Thursday. Your first weather is brought to you by Saliba's Rug Cleaners, Maine's largest for over 70 years. And okay, so we can get used to this here in early October, right? Highs back in the 70s today, but it won't be this warm tomorrow. And then much colder air gets in here Saturday and Sunday. But out there today, lots of sunshine. A pretty nice day, right? The big low is kind of pulling out of here now. But there is trouble upstream, and that's this system right here. That is moving our direction for tomorrow, and that could easily bring us a couple of rounds of cloud cover and light showers tomorrow, although it will not be an all-day rain. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is increasing clouds, maybe a couple of sprinkles by early tomorrow morning, with low temperatures down near 50. Your full forecast is coming up. Peter?
Alrighty, Jeff, thanks so much. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the Maine Department of Education gives $1.6 million to schools across Maine for education innovation. And the Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center Auxiliary pledges to raise $125,000 to support the purchase of a special vehicle. We'll have those stories and much more after this.
Janet Mills's education department was teaching kindergartners radical transgender policies. Now it's pushing a curriculum telling students they're racist if they use certain terms. All lives matter, mass incarceration, calling the police on black people, all racist. Janet Mills closed our schools and our kids fell behind. And now she's pushing her radical education agenda. No more politics in schools, no more Janet Mills. The top funder of the Maine Republican Party is the Republican Governors Association.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
Autumn of Life Home Care is a great place to work. The team here provided me with all the opportunities and experience necessary to grow within the company, all while working around my busy college schedule. They provided all the necessary licensing and training. It truly was the job that kickstarted my career.
Autumn of Life Home Care in Brewer is a licensed agency with personal support specialists.
Let our compassionate, reliable, considerate caregivers make your life a little easier by providing assistance for you or your loved one.
Autumn of Life Home Care. We focus on you. Apply today.
Whether you're hurt by a box truck or by any commercial vehicle, you may have a big case worth big money. If you've been hurt by any commercial truck, call the Twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial truck? Come out on top. Call the Twos.
Great things are always cooking at the Ground. New menu, new specials, with an amazing variety of choices for every taste. Good times, great service, and amazing food. Only at your locally owned Ground. Odland Road, Bangor.
England. That was terrific. USA. Go, US! At Wembley Stadium. Friday at 2:30 Eastern on Fox.
Coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll have the latest updates in the process of the Jessica Williams trial. We'll hear about the bulletproof vests that funding has been secured for one criminal justice division, along with the latest out of Skowhegan, as disagreements are arising around how the dam should be handled. All of this and more coming up.
Welcome back, everyone. Ahead of International Mental Health Day, Maine's most famous outdoor retailer hopes you'll make it a point to get outside. LL Bean is partnering with Mental Health America. It comes after Bean's new research showing being outside greatly impacts your well-being, specifically making people more resilient and helping to strengthen relationships. It doesn't have to mean a big trip to Acadia either. Wellness manager Stephanie Harvey says just to keep it simple.
Set a goal for yourself. What is important and meaningful for you to find time to experience the beauty and the joy or that awe in those moments outside.
Harvey also encourages enjoying the outdoors with a friend to help keep you accountable and be present. Focus on what you appreciate and you're experiencing in the moment. International Mental Health Day is on Monday. A local coffee shop is among the many businesses and people in Maine throwing their support behind Maine lobstermen. The owner of Morning in Paris in Kennebunk says when he got calls to boycott Maine lobster, while fishermen are already dealing with new federal regulations, he decided to brew up a way he could show support. Paul Humphreys says lobstermen he knows says they like a strong, full-bodied coffee, so he's selling coffee called #SaveMaineLobstermen. For every 1 pound sold, $4 goes to helping lobstermen in Maine to fight the boycott.
It wouldn't directly affect us because we don't sell lobster in the cafes here. However, my view is that the Maine economy, the whole of the Maine economy, will come to a slowdown, a significant slowdown. I think at this point it's immeasurable to see what the damage would do from that.
Says the coffee will be available next week, but like the coffee, the demand itself is strong. Governor Mills has created a special advisory committee to oversee funding to help Maine farmers. The PFAS Fund Advisory Committee was created to manage the $60 million being used to assist farmers who are impacted by PFAS chemicals. Governor Mills has also named Beth Valentine as the fund's director. PFAS chemicals include thousands of varieties that were used for decades, and some are being used, some of which have ended up in drinking water and agricultural settings. Valentine will work closely with the committee as it implements a number of programs aimed at helping farmers impacted by contamination. Medical testing, equipment replacement, and soil and water remediation are among the programs underway. The Maine Department of Education is giving $1.6 million to schools across the state for education innovation. It's part of Maine's Rethinking Response Education Ventures, or REV for short. The primary goal of REV is generating innovative remote learning models that provide equitable, high-quality remote learning access to all students. It's broken up into the categories of extended learning, multiple pathways, online learning, and outdoor education. Old Town High School is among the 12 winners announced today.
We're now able to tailor a pathway for our students to succeed outside the traditional walls of our schools. The Coyote Online Opportunity students will also have access to all co-curricular activities at the school to continue their passions outside the traditional academic courses.
39 school districts across the state have been awarded REV funding since the initiative was launched last year. An effort is underway to get a new neonatal transport ambulance for the smallest patients in our area. The Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center Auxiliary has pledged to raise $125,000 to support the purchase of the special vehicle affectionately called the Miracle 2.
It's a replacement for Miracle 1 that is no longer in service because of the age, really.
The specialized transport ambulances are designed to be a mobile NICU with ventilators, oxygen, and more. They're designed to also give a smooth ride over rough roads so babies can get the best outcome and care possible.
Just in the NICU alone, we transport in over 150 babies from the northern and eastern two-thirds of Maine who are premature and or sick for NICU care.
Auxiliary is holding a number of fundraisers. Their annual kitchen tour kicks off November 5th in a virtual format. You can find more information by calling 973-5055. Well, changes to the NFL's concussion protocols after a starting quarterback is injured in back-to-back games. Fox's Eric Messersmith has more.
The NFL's handling of concussions has been a source of controversy for quite a while now, and a blow to the head of Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa in a primetime game has reignited a debate about the league's protocols. It was a scary scene when Tagovailoa laid on the ground for more than 10 minutes and was taken off the field on a stretcher after his head slammed against the ground in Cincinnati. The situation further magnified what happened just a few days earlier during the Dolphins' win over the Bills in Week 3. In that game, Tagovailoa also hit his head on the turf and struggled to gain his footing before leaving the field, only to return in the second half. Many people questioned why he would be allowed to re-enter the game, but Tagovailoa and the team insisted that he was dealing with a back injury and not a concussion. Coach Mike McDaniel said Miami followed the proper procedures.
He was evaluated for a head injury immediately and then cleared by several layers
of medical professionals.
The NFL Players Association wasn't so sure, launching an investigation into the incident and ultimately deciding to fire the independent neurotrauma consultant who initially evaluated Tagovailoa during the Bills game. The NFL and the NFL Players Association have agreed on revisions to the concussion protocol, specifically adding language that would stop a player from re-entering a game if he shows gross motor instability, regardless of the cause. In Los Angeles, Eric Messersmith, Fox News.
Meanwhile, friends and family members gather for the funeral of one of their loved ones while she's still alive. Fox's Steve Nielsen has more on one 23-year-old's living funeral service.
What do you bring to a funeral where no one died? Flowers? Or maybe a joke so they die laughing?
And said, I'm going again.
This is a twist on a funeral at Mountain View Cemetery, one where the person it's about gets to attend.
A little overwhelming.
Bryn is 23. She's healthy. Her mom essentially surprised her with this party.
It was a little uncomfortable at first, but once we got in the groove of it and I started hearing everybody's stories, I was realizing how important it was to hear it before it's too late.
We're changing the way people think about celebrations of life and being able to give families another choice.
Another choice to do it before a family says goodbye. For some, these celebrations could be very serious.
Bree is really remarkable. She's my best friend.
But Bryn, for the most part, well, she did it differently.
She wanted people to be silly and have fun.
How often do you see a photo booth at a funeral? And, oh, hey, is that a margarita machine? I mean, hey, it's her funeral. But beyond the silly photos and drinks, there were sweet videos from friends who could only attend by stream.
Brianna, everybody shout Brianna, Brianna's name.
It's goofy, but it's also poignant.
And she is a fighter.
It even came with a Dove release outside.
We don't want to offend people. We don't want people to think it's a mockery of death. We don't want people to be afraid that this is what it's all coming to. We want people to be enlightened and educated and feel like this is something that I would consider doing for my loved one.
Bryn thinks the trend won't be buried for long.
Especially with the younger generation, because they're more accepting to the odd stuff. But I think it will definitely become a thing.
Certainly a different take on a funeral. I'm not sure if that trend is going to pick up, but I guess we'll see. All right, well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, President Biden pardons federal offenses connected to simple marijuana possession, a dramatic step towards decriminalizing the drug ahead of the midterm elections. And millions of Americans are still out of work due to long COVID. We'll have more on that coming up after the break.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
I have a great job. I get up early, head on out, and I get to work. I install solar panels. They power our homes and give me a great paycheck. When Paul LePage was governor, he opposed projects like this, putting Maine last for solar jobs in New England. He even said that climate change wasn't a threat to Maine. Look, we need more of these jobs, and that won't happen if we go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Out with the old and in with the new. Check out Pat's Pizza Specials. Tuesdays, $5 spaghetti and meatballs. Tuesday, all-day breadstick special. Wednesday, large one-topping pizzas, $8. Wednesday, small steak and cheese with French fries, $6.25. Friday, fish with French fries, $7.50. Saturday, small one-item pizza, fountain soda, $7.25. And you can still save some dough. Bring the family to the all-new Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road North, Hamden.
I'm 82 years old, and I have collapsed arches, which means the first thing that hits the ground is the bone in my arch. I came to Comfort Shoes 4 years ago because I couldn't walk without pain. And she spent so much time on my feet getting the right shoe, and we finally found the right pair. Once you made these orthotics for me, I have no pain. These are so comfortable. I have no discomfort. I feel like I could go running, and I thank you and Comfort Shoes for that.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. so you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
President Biden is using his pardoning powers to do away with some marijuana convictions. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has more on who it applies to and why the president is acting now.
Too many lives have been upended because of our failed approach to marijuana. It's time that we right these wrongs.
President Biden has wiped clean some simple marijuana possession convictions. His pardon only applies to federal convictions and those in Washington, D.C. It does not apply to other charges. It's also only for those who were legal residents when convicted. The president says the pardon will help many gain access to employment, housing, education, and even out racial disparities.
While white and black and brown people use marijuana at similar rates, black and brown people are arrested, prosecuted, and convicted at disproportionately higher rates.
The president called on governors to pardon similar state convictions. Democratic leaders applauding the move. Speaker Nancy Pelosi writing, President Biden is advancing racial and economic justice, empowering more Americans to return to their loved ones, find a good-paying job, and contribute to our communities. The Health and Human Services Secretary and Attorney General have been directed to review how marijuana is classified federally. It's a Schedule I drug, meaning a dangerous substance, one that some think is contributing to America's drug problem.
We have a drug problem in this country, and it comes in many forms. People think it's innocent. It's not. It's 20 times more powerful than it was in the 60s.
The Attorney General has also been tasked with developing an application system and a pardon certificate for those who qualify. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Meanwhile, long COVID is still keeping Americans from working. Millions more are dealing with difficulties in their daily activities. The most frustrating thing is no one is sure how long it will last. Fox's Jonathan Siri is in Atlanta with more details.
Of the estimated 24 million Americans with COVID symptoms lasting 3 months or longer, more than 81% experience at least some limitations in their daily activities, while more than a quarter experience significant limitations, according to new data from the CDC. Symptoms of long COVID can range from a lingering cough to neurological problems.
At the other end, there are people who are fatigued, can't get about doing their work, have aches and pains, headaches, and of course, this mental confusion, which has been called brain fog.
The Brookings Institute estimates 16 million working-age Americans have long COVID, with 2 to 4 million unable to work, resulting in annual lost wages of $170 to $230 billion. Although long COVID can qualify as a disability, federal benefits are reserved for those whose conditions will prevent them from working for at least a year. And researchers are still trying to determine what causes some people's symptoms to last longer than others.
That's something we absolutely have to get our arms around, find out what the pathogenic mechanism of it is, and then hopefully do something about it. It's a very serious problem.
The new CDC statistics on long COVID do not include data on vaccination status, but many outside experts believe vaccines and treatments will reduce the risk of contracting long COVID.
There are data suggesting that if you don't get severe disease, your risk is lowered. So we would anticipate that these treatments contribute to lowering the risk of long COVID.
Dr. Schaffner says there is reason for cautious optimism. Preliminary data suggests that most, if not all, long COVID patients do improve gradually over time. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
A shocking mass shooting in Thailand has claimed the lives of dozens of people, including children. Officials say the alleged attacker was once in law enforcement. Fox's Amy Kellogg has more.
At least 24 preschoolers and 11 adults killed Thursday in an attack that began at a child care center in northeastern Thailand, just over 300 miles northeast of Bangkok. The gunman, now identified as a 34-year-old former police officer, was fired from the force earlier this year because of a drug offense. According to authorities, just hours before the shooting, the ex-policeman was in court facing drug charges before heading to the daycare in Nong Bua Lampu, armed with guns and a knife. Officials say he allegedly opened fire on sleeping children and the teachers in the classroom. Thailand's prime minister expressing his condolences as loved ones flooded the school looking for answers.
I feel deep sadness towards the victims and relatives. Nobody thought this would happen.
The rampage didn't stop there. At least 12 additional people wounded as the gunman fled from the school, firing off rounds while driving through a crowd of bystanders. Investigators say the man then went home and killed his wife and child before taking his own life. Police say the investigation is just now ramping up.
We will gather all the evidence and investigate the timeline. We have to learn a lesson from this. Speaking honestly, we don't want this to happen again.
In a show of unity, people in the area rushing to donate blood at a nearby hospital in hopes of helping in any way they can. This was the deadliest mass shooting in the country's history. In Milan, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
President Biden says he's weighing what to do about gas prices after OPEC rebuffed his summertime request to pump more oil and did the opposite this week. OPEC's production cut will put pressure on gas prices here, and now members of Congress are putting forth proposals to punish the cartel. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
It is a disappointment, and it says that there are problems.
President Biden said he's disappointed OPEC is cutting oil production, but other Democrats are furious and calling for action against Saudi Arabia.
I don't know whether their motivation was to hurt the American people, but the fact is it does hurt the American people.
This is a giant, glaring message from the Saudis that, no, we don't share your interests.
The administration plans to release another 10 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve next month, but OPEC plans to slash production by 2 million barrels a day. Some Democratic lawmakers want to yank U.S. troops from Saudi Arabia in retaliation. The Wall Street Journal reports the president is also considering scaling down sanctions on Venezuela's authoritarian regime to let Chevron restart oil production there.
Very surprising move, but certainly one of desperation as oil prices now drifting higher ahead of the midterm elections.
Republicans want the Biden administration to do more to increase drilling at home and make the U.S. energy independent.
We could have other nations dependent upon us. China could be dependent upon us. That would help foreign policy and also make the world a safer place.
Another plan being floated on Capitol Hill is called NOPEC that could open up members of OPEC to antitrust lawsuits. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
And with Election Day now just a month away, candidates are addressing crime. It's an issue top of mind for many voters, and candidates are hitting hard on the topic as they stump for votes. Fox's Mark Meredith takes a look.
You can't stand for Ohio workers unless you're standing for the workers who are patrolling our streets.
Ohio Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance says if elected, he'll champion law enforcement. But he's not alone, as a growing number of Republicans nationwide promise to address rising crime.
We want to defend our police, not defund them. The people have spoken.
New polling shows crime is on voters' minds. Monmouth University says 72% of people it polled rank crime as extremely or very important.
This is about Americans feeling safe, and they know the policies that have been promoted by one Democrat rule in Washington.
Democrats are not surrendering the issue. During last night's Kansas gubernatorial debate, Democratic Governor Laura Kelly insisted crime can be addressed with a stronger economy.
We know that a lot of time crime results from poverty. And so as we develop our economy and we get people good jobs, I think that will contribute to lowering it.
But this week, Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush reignited the crime debate within the Democratic Party by repeating calls to defund the police.
Defund the police is not the issue. People are more upset about defund the police than they are about the fact that black people are still killed disproportionately in this country.
Top Democrats, including President Biden, reject defunding as a strategy. And now out on the trail, Democrats like Tim Ryan in Ohio are doing the same.
I absolutely reject defunding the police. We need safe communities. We need more cops.
There's another reason why Republicans are spending so much time talking about crime. A recent Fox poll found more voters believe the GOP is best equipped to handle the issue over Democrats. However, the economy remains the top issue overall on voters' minds. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, a group of curators and historians travel to grave sites around the state, honoring those who played a role in the Boston Tea Party. And in sports, Herman girls soccer is on a mission, looking to make their third state championship game in 4 years. We'll be right back.
Baseball's biggest stars lead their teams in a fight for the crown. The MLB postseason on Fox.
Dude, can you believe we're graduating? And they helped us find a great job. Soon we'll be living the dream.
Exactly. I'm incredibly grateful for Maine Job Corps. If it wasn't for them, I'd be working an entry-level job and barely making it.
Let Team Maine Job Corps help find the career that's right for you. Call 561-8516.
Do you need to replace your windows, but worry that your project will be hard to schedule and too expensive? Then call Renewal by Andersen, the custom replacement window division of Andersen. Our windows are made with an exclusive Fibrex material that's vastly superior to vinyl and backed by the nation's best warranty. Be sure to ask about our 1-year price lock guarantee to secure a price that's good for 1 full year. Call Renewal by Andersen for your free consultation and a money-saving offer. Installation is always included.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com.
From the land to the sea, Chase's Family Restaurant is the place to be.
Are you looking for a place to unwind after a long day?
Then come check out our Hideaway Lounge.
With a bar that's both upbeat and laid back. And it's the perfect atmosphere for anyone who wants to unwind after work.
Or kick it up for the weekends with daily drink specials and a full dinner menu.
You can fill up on a good time any night of the week.
Thank you for being a part of our family.
Here at Chase's Family Restaurant.
Welcome back. Rio's Spiked Cafe in Searsport is gearing up for its 1-year anniversary celebration this weekend. General Manager John Sullivan says the restaurant likes to put a modern twist on a variety of cuisines. He says all are welcome to stop by Saturday to take part in the celebration and enjoy some delicious barbecue.
We're going to be having live music, about 4 hours of live entertainment. So we're going to be having suckling pig, free-range chicken, brisket, all the sides.
Recently expanded, adding a new dining area. The celebration will kick off at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Meanwhile, a group of curators and historians is traveling to grave sites around the state of Maine, honoring those who played a role in the Boston Tea Party. On Wednesday, the group visited Fairview Cemetery in Warren to honor patriot Benjamin Burton. According to the Boston Tea Party Museum, Burton was one of the men who led the meeting at the Old South Meeting House before the tea protest actually began. A commemorative marker portraying the historic event was placed at his grave.
Joining this party that boarded the tea ships, he labored with all of his might in throwing the tea into the water. It being about low tide, the tea rested on the bottom, and when the tide rose, it floated and was lodged by the surf along the shore.
The museum, Burton served as a lieutenant in the Continental Army in 1776 and was later promoted to a captain in 1777. The next year, Burton was held prisoner for 3 months, and when he escaped, he was given the rank of lieutenant colonel in the Boston militia. Very cool look back at history there, and really interesting to see them honoring and recognizing all those Mainers who took part. All right, well, our full 5-day forecast is coming up next, so stay with us for that.
High temperatures back up near 70 today. It will not be this warm tomorrow, and then much colder air over the weekend. Those details for you when I come back.
Seniors know a scam when they see one, like Bruce Poliquin.
My heart is breaking for our seniors in Maine.
He says he'll help Maine seniors. But the last time Poliquin was in Congress, he voted to cut $500 billion from Medicare. And he supports raising the retirement age for Social Security. Maine seniors can trust Jared Golden. Jared stood up to both parties to protect Social Security and Medicare.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine seniors earned their retirement.
I'm Jay Pearl from Carroll Harper & Associates, Maine's most experienced Medicare health plans agency. Every day we hear how complicated navigating the Medicare maze can be. Let us help. From enrolling in Medicare to finding the right Medicare health plan, we are your go-to agency. We represent Martins Point Generations Advantage and other Medicare health plans that meet our quality standards. There's no cost or obligation for our services, so call Carroll Harper & Associates today.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
At Bouchard Cleaning, rebuilding and restoring means more than just another job. To us, it's about bringing back cherished memories, restoring unforgettable moments in time, and giving hope when all was thought to be lost. For over 35 years, our mission has remained the same. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
Blake Corum and Michigan take their electrifying show on the road against Indiana. All part of Big Noon Saturday on Fox.
It's amazing out there. High temperatures back in the 70s today. Lots of sunshine throughout the afternoon. A gorgeous day. However, more clouds are on the way now. And tomorrow, we'll get some clouds and a couple rain showers across our region, likely bringing down some tree leaves as they come through the area tomorrow into tomorrow night. Okay, but today, look what we did today. 74 in Millinocket, 73 here in Bangor. A gorgeous day with some sunshine throughout the afternoon. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be a bit cooler as we are turning the wind now out of the west. It'll actually go calm for a couple hours this evening. That could give us some dense fog late. And then tomorrow, a secondary cold front is going to come through with some showers and cloud cover. That's going to make it a bit cooler for us then tomorrow, with highs struggling to make it out of the mid-60s for highs tomorrow. And here's that push of cooler air getting in here about midday, and that could easily cool us off into the 30s or so tomorrow night. All right, the big low is pulling out of here. See you later. Behind it, we had lots of clear skies for several hours today, but the next low is not too far behind. This is a cold front, and the air behind it is much colder. That's a little bit of snow right there. No snow for us anytime soon, but overall, clouding cover out there tonight, and then increasing tomorrow morning will eventually lead to some rain showers tomorrow, probably mid-morning to late afternoon or so. Those rain showers getting in here. And then back behind that, that's it for a while. The weekend actually looks pretty nice around here with temperatures hanging out in the 50s to low 60s. Let's walk you through. So tonight we have increasing clouds. So by tomorrow morning, here's 9:30 or so, looking at like maybe a couple of sprinkles around. The bulk of the rain, though, most likely getting here afternoon tomorrow. That's pushed with the cold front. And then behind it, kind of staying cloudy and cool tomorrow evening with falling temperatures. And much colder air gets in here on Saturday. Likely staying dry Saturday with temperatures hanging out in the 50s. Are you ready for that? And kind of staying that way for Sunday as well. So our forecast then tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies, low temperatures down near 50 or so. with a calm wind after midnight that could easily give us some dense fog by early parts of tomorrow morning. For tomorrow, here we go. So starting off just cloudy, we'll call it increasing clouds throughout the morning hours, followed by some showers, rain showers around noon, and likely lingering off and on through midday tomorrow into tomorrow evening. It won't be a heavy rain, many dry hours in there as well, with high temperatures up near 64. A couple of you could do a couple degrees warmer than that tomorrow. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows the story. So rain showers out there tomorrow, 64. Saturday, 54, dropping 10 degrees for a high on Saturday with lots of sunshine around. Sunday looking a little better, 57 or so with lows in the 30s, followed by partly cloudy skies Monday into Tuesday with highs hanging out in the 50s.
Alrighty, so a nice weekend on the way. Thanks so much, Jeff. And sports is coming up next. Stay with us.
Check one, check two. The store's appearance may have changed throughout the years, but its dedication to our community and families has not wavered. We will still welcome you with a smile and top-notch service. If you need coffee,
check.
Tasty treats,
Check.
freshly made pizza, check. Or wine and spirits,
Check.
stop by and fill up your tank and check us out.
In Maine, it's always buying season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we carry new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams for your buying season. Here at Thornton Brothers, we'll help you find the right vehicle specifically for you to suit your lifestyle. As they say, the proof is in the performance. So come on over and test drive a real vehicle from a real dealership, or place your order with us and see why it really is buying season here in Maine. Thornton Brothers, Main Street, Lincoln.
If I don't hear from you tonight, I know it, but I can't let go. Everything I love is out to sea.
The Greg B. Harrell Show. ...
Am I supposed to read the ...
More than that, you know there's nothing.
It's another exciting year of high school football in the state of Maine. Get out and support your home team and be looking for the ABC7 Sports Blitz crew. You can get a free Sports Blitz t-shirt, then watch Sports Blitz during ABC7 News at 11 every Friday night during the football season. Blitz shirts courtesy of Coastal Auto Parts, Advanced Electrical Services Incorporated, Body Graphics Tattoo and Piercing Studio, JC's Variety, Leo & Sons Auto Repair, R&K Variety, Remax Infinity, and Rowell's Garage and Car Wash. Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Engstrom's Auto Service in Guilford. We specialize in all foreign and domestic service and alignments.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start on the high school scene here. After a disappointing end to last season, the Herman Hawks are picking up right where they left off. Starting the year 9-0 and outscoring opponents 55-5 so far this fall.
Our slogan this year is unfinished business, and we really want to get back there and finally bring a gold ball to Herman.
The Herman Hawks are on a mission.
It's just an expectation that we have.
Yeah, I really want to win.
We want to win every game that we play. We try to win every game that we play.
After their perfect season ended with a state championship loss in 2021, the Hawks are back to where they left off, starting the season 9-0.
It feels really good, and it's a lot of fun to play like that. And when we play our game and don't panic, it really helps us. We've all worked together in soccer for a long time, and having that chemistry, I think, helps a lot.
From last year, the Hawks lost 10 seniors, including the program's all-time scoring leader, Sidney Gallup, but they haven't missed a beat.
Last year, we were very strong. We lost some key players, but these girls have stepped right in. We have 2 freshmen that have stepped up that we knew that would be impact players, but I don't think we knew that they would be this impactful.
At first, we thought it was going to be a little challenging, but we have a lot of freshmen that came up that have really filled in those big shoes.
One of those freshmen, Madison Stewart, has tallied 13 goals and 9 assists already to start her high school career.
It's been crazy. I didn't think I'd make such an impact on the team, but I've definitely had some good games. Definitely during summer season, I got close with some of the seniors, and They have really helped me get my goals.
I think her first game she played, she scored a hat trick, and it's like, all right, Madison's going to be all right.
They also have a senior class of 8 girls who have already been to 2 gold ball games.
The girls, especially this senior class, they have not lost a game except for a state championship game. So that speaks volumes to their talent, but also their hard work.
Including Reed, who's nearing her 100th goal. But that's not her main focus every time she laces up the cleats.
It's always there in my mind, but it's more of a team thing for me. If I get there, then great, but I think a state championship is more of the focus.
Just a couple games left in the regular season. Looking forward to see what the Hawks do in the playoffs. Let's stay with high school sports now. Homecoming week at Brewer. They were hosting Hamden Academy for some field hockey. Broncos and Witches getting after it at Hederick Field under the lights. Beautiful night for it over in Brewer. First quarter, Witches on the attack. Some good defense from the Broncos, but the ball goes out to Jordan Williams, who lifts it into the cage. It's 1-0 Witches. We're going to go to a couple minutes later, still in the first. Hamden with a good chance. Paige Oakes with the entry pass. That goes to Skylar Da Silva, who fights it through the defense. We are all tied at 1, but that is when Allie Flagg would take over. She's going to get by the defender here and zip this one into the corner of the cage by the goaltenders. Get a couple high fives. That breaks the tie, 2-1 Brewer. And then Flagg again, beginning of the second quarter. She's in the right place at the right time on that rebound for her second goal of the night. She'd add one more to complete the hat trick, and the Witches go on to win. 4-1 is the final. All right, let's check out some other scores from the night. John Baptist girls soccer taking a 4-0 win over Caribou. In Bucksport, the Golden Bucks taking a 6-1 win over Central. In volleyball, Brewer with a 3-0 win over Nokomis. That is their first win of the season. And then Class C boys soccer, Panquist Valley with a 2-0 win over Dexter. All right, moving on now, let's check in with the Patriots. It has been an interesting week as far as the quarterback situation goes. The Lions are coming to Gillette Stadium on Sunday, a matchup of 2 1-3, kind of banged up teams. For New England, they will have a new quarterback in the room. Garrett Gilbert was out throwing at practice on Wednesday. No Brian Hoyer, though. They put him on IR, out with a head injury from last Sunday. Mac Jones was out there, but he was a limited participant, still nursing that high ankle sprain. So that brings us to Bailey Zappi, who was impressive in place of Hoyer last Sunday. And if nothing changes with Jones, it looks like the rookie will be getting his first career start this week.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a little bit more comfortability with it, but like I said, I'm going to lean on my teammates a lot. They helped me a lot at the Packers, and, I'm going to lean on them even more, this upcoming game or whatever it is. And, I'm really excited for just going to practice every day and getting better.
I was going to go into great depth about the quarterback situation, but since you've got another question about the practice location, let's go to that.
Couple jokes from Bill there. That means it's a good day. That is all the time we'll have in sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Mainers took Jared Golden at his word, but he just broke his promise. Golden was a deciding vote for Biden's newest spending bill, even though he knew reckless spending would make inflation worse and everything more expensive. What's worse? Golden and Biden hiked taxes $1 billion on those making less than $50,000. Jared Golden. Independent when convenient, liberal when it mattered. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Out with the old and in with the new. Check out Pat's Pizza Specials. Tuesdays, $5 spaghetti and meatballs. Tuesday all day breadstick special. Wednesday, large one-topping pizzas,
$8.
Wednesday, small steak and cheese with french fries,
$6.25.
Friday, fish with french fries,
$7.50.
Saturday, small one-item pizza, fountain soda,
$7.25.
And you can still save some dough. Bring the family to the all-new Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road North, Hamden.
It's another exciting year of high school football in the state of Maine. Get out and support your home team and be looking for the ABC7 Sports Blitz crew. You can get a free Sports Blitz t-shirt, then watch Sports Blitz during ABC7 News at 11 every Friday night during the football season. Blitz shirts courtesy of At Home FAB KBF, Dover Ford, Engstrom's Auto Service, Foxcroft Academy, Johnson Foundations, McCusick Petroleum, Patriot Homes, and Tony Murray's Fairway Auto Sales.
Paul LePage keeps telling outrageous lies about Governor Mills and what's taught in our schools.
The people of Maine know me, and they know BS when they hear it and see it.
The truth? Mills raised 5 daughters who went to Maine public schools. She's kept politics out of classrooms, letting parents and local school boards decide what to teach children, protecting Maine's long tradition of local control.
I think the Maine people know that with me, what you see is what you get. I've always told them the truth as best I could. I always will.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Mom and Dad, you must be so proud.
We're proud of all of our children.
She has to say that.
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
A hit cowboy drama breaks another record. David Harbour saves Christmas and more. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has all the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Let's go! Santa Claus fights back, Bradshaw returns, and the Duttons score in the Hollywood Nation.
Hi, John Dutton.
Yellowstone breaks a record with its Season 5 trailer. The official first look video scored a massive 14.4 million views and 1.7 million interactions within 24 hours of its release on September 29th. The preview also got more than 30,000 mentions and was shared 190,000 times on social media that day. The Dutton family saddle up for more drama when the new season premieres on Paramount Network November 13th.
Ladies, your table is ready.
And just like that, Sarah Jessica Parker is back on the set of the Sex and the City reboot. Parker confirmed filming has started on Season 2 of the hit HBO Max sequel series with a snap on her Instagram. She shared a behind-the-scenes photo that gives a glimpse at one of the outfits she'll be wearing on the show.
Are you going to help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
And David Harbour brings the holiday fear in today's first looks. The official trailer for the action comedy Violent Night features the Stranger Things star playing Santa Claus, fighting back against a team of mercenaries holding a wealthy family hostage on Christmas Eve. It arrives in theaters December 2nd.
I gotta watch.
In Hollywood, Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Finally tonight, petting a dog may be good for your brain. A new study conducted in Switzerland looked at how petting a dog affects people's brain activity. 19 men and women participated in the study. Researchers tracked the participants' brain activity with a dog present and without. They found interacting with a dog made people more sociable. It also helped boost neurons in the part of the brain that helps control emotional interactions. Most of my interactions with my dog are pretty emotional, too. Lots of snuggles coming up tonight with him, but for the meantime, that's all we've got for you. Have a great rest of your evening.